Hi, this is Kathy from Gadget Stop 321, and my sister and I are going to have a table at the 2025 St. Louis Pen Show. We will be there on Friday and Saturday at our table, and I'll have fountain pens, pencils, and I'm also going to have some notebooks, and that's what I'm going to take a look at in this video. I'm going to begin with a Traveler's Company Traveler's Notebook, and this is one of the older ones. It actually says Midori, made in Thailand. This is the brown, and inside I have the original insert, but I did do a writing sample on the back couple pages. And most of these notebooks will have pen tests on the back couple pages. I did use this notebook quite a bit, but I usually used little Apica notebooks. I used quite a few of those. But this is the original notebook that came with it. I also put a little canvas insert into it. Now, this is not Traveler's Company branded. This is one of the off-brands, I think would be a fair way to classify this, and it's stiff, and some people don't like this. I kind of liked this stiff texture for a smaller notebook like this because I carried it around in my pocket. I wanted something really sturdy. The zipper works well, and I've got the original packaging. Now, one thing I wanted to show here, the elastic is a little bit loose on it because I had multiple notebooks in here, and so I loosened it up. But if you want it a little bit tighter, you can just undo the knot in here and tighten it up. But I've got the original packaging, so you've got some extra elastics that come with that. I've got a matching brown leather pen loop. I used it a little bit with a little pocket pen, but I didn't use this very much. I just used it at the very beginning. I've got 3 more blank inserts that haven't been tested. This one, I think this is the thin plain paper because it's an 80-page notebook. This one's also a plain notebook, and it has 64 pages. Or actually, maybe this is some kind of drawing paper or art paper because it looks like the regular notebooks have 80 pages, the regular paper. So I've got a graph, a plane, and then this is probably a sketchbook. I've got the zipper pouch, for lack of a better word for it, the plasticky zipper pouch that's got a big pocket on this side, 2 little card pockets, and then the zipper pouch. And this is the cardstock folder. So there's a lot of accessories, a lot of extras that will come with this little Passport Traveler's Notebook. Next, I've got a little Midori into one binder. These have movable pages, so you can throw this away or move it to the back. I did a writing sample in here with some fountain pens and gel pens, and this is back when I would do writing samples with Sharpies, but I quit doing that because Sharpies always bleed through. It bled through to the next page. There was only one other pen, a really wet gel pen that I borrowed from my daughter. The black Uniball Signo kind of showed through a little bit, but everything else did just fine. And I have some, I think these are, yeah, sheets for pictures. So those will go together. Okay, next I'll zoom out a little bit for the rest of these. This is a Maramoman, let me see, I think it was called 5 pocket, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, a 5-pocket notepad. I've used a couple of pages out of the notepad, and I kept the little yellow sheet that I tore off. You could use that for blotting paper. But I also have this in the A4 size. This is A5. I'm keeping the A4 size. These are pretty durable. I used the A4 quite a bit when I was a teacher. I used it one whole year exclusively, and it still looks brand new like this one. Oh, and there's an elastic closure that you can use that if you need to hold papers in. I'm getting kind of sloppy here. Sorry, I'm kind of clumsy with just one hand. But what I liked about the elastic closure is you didn't have to use it, and it stays flush with the back of the notebook. And the paper is really nice, fountain pen friendly. It's graph paper, but it's only graph on one side. Next, I've got a Phofax notebook, and you can see this elastic doesn't stay flush, so it kind of flops around. It's got some dividers. It's got one pocket, one ruler, and these are kind of like the disc system where you can pull the pages out. They've got the little slits there, and you can move the pages around. This, I cut up some of my own paper. This is Rhodia. It may not look that great. It may not be trimmed super nice. I didn't do, or I removed the writing sample. These are just dividers, no pockets on those. But I'll keep this paper in here. You might want to use it to do some pen testing while you're at the pen show. But this is actual Phofax notebook paper that goes with it, and it's not super fountain pen friendly, but I've got a package of graph. This is all plain, and these are kind of off-white. When you look at it up next to this white Rhodia paper, it looks kind of discolored, but it's supposed to be like that. And some lined paper. I used quite a bit of the lined paper, but that will all come with this. It works well with gel pens and ballpoints and pencils, and the Rhodia in here. It's Rhodia. It works well with fountain pens. And I have found if you have a hole punch for the Staples, the ARC notebooks, they don't fit exactly perfect. If you tried to use the ARC hole punch for an A4 size, it wouldn't line up, but that's what I used for this Rhodia paper, and you can see the pages turn really nice. I think it works really well if you have an ARC hole punch, which I have. This is a Lehit Lab Aqua Drops. It's a little binder where the pages are removable. I ordered this from Amazon, and you know how Amazon is. They sent it, instead of sending it in a box, they sent it in an envelope. So the very bottom ring here got bent up, but the rest are all, you know, fine. They fit together like they're supposed to. It's just that one bottom ring. And let me see. I've got a writing sample in here. This has actual Lehit Lab paper, the Aqua Drops lined paper, and it's roughly half graph and half lined paper. And I did a writing sample on the lined paper. It's not super fountain pen friendly. Some inks work better than others, but it's nice smooth paper. And if you get a hole punch, one of these hole punches, you can put your own paper in it. This is a kind of a somewhat flexible plastic cover, kind of like, it feels like the cover that's on the Maramoman 5-pocket notepad that I showed. Next, I've got a Phofax. I can't remember what this is called, one of these little binders. I used this quite a bit. Let's see. Yep, I've got some writing samples back here. This is Phofax paper, so some inks work better than others. And it's got, you know, like Phofax includes a lot of random types of paper. Some graphs, some blank, just lots of different types of papers. And the reason I got this is if I had to take notes, like holding the notebook, I could fold it over, but it works okay like that, you know, depending on how much paper you have in it. It's been a nice little notebook. And if you have a Phofax hole punch, this is really nice. You can put your own paper in there. This is a Kikuyo, I can't remember, some kind of system. It's got a pocket in front. It's a canvasy kind of material, but it's really thin. It's not, I wouldn't call it super durable, but if you take care of your stuff, it'll be fine. I've used it a fair amount. I don't think I'm going to include this notebook with it. I think I'm just going to include this notebook. This is the notebook that came with it, but you can put either a notepad like I had in here earlier, or you can put a notebook in here. In fact, you can do that on either side, the way this is divided up. It also has a pocket back here, some card pockets. This is just a really cool setup. There you have lots of options. You've got 2 bookmarks here. I've done some writing samples in the back of this. This paper looks like it's pretty much fountain pen friendly. Every pen that I've tried with it worked. It's got a nice elastic loop. Fits a variety of pens. You can do this. This was a cool little notebook. In fact, I used several little Apica A5 notebooks in here. I used to use this as a journal. I had like the fear of the blank first page with this notebook. I thought this was such a cool notebook. You had lots of different ways you could use it, but other than the writing samples, I never did actually use the notebook that came with it. And it's got a plastic cover on the front. That's a nice little notebook. And it also has the elastic closure that you can flip around the front. There's a pocket back here. This elastic closure will keep papers that you put in here from falling out. And again, I like that it's flush with the back because I don't use elastic closures very much. So that's a nice little notebook. And here is an A4 size or letter size ARC ring notebook. This is a nice sturdy leather cover. Got some little lists, some graph paper, a divider that I just cut myself, a few pieces of lined paper, of course some pen and ink tests. This paper seemed to be somewhat fountain pen friendly, not universally, but several of my pens and inks worked. Got 2 poly pockets. There's a pen loop, and I liked this pen loop because it was leather, but it also had the elastic on the back so it could stretch for larger pens. And I carried this one entire year at school. Let me see. And I don't see any scuffs on this one, even the corners. These leather ARC notebooks were very durable. I don't know if they still are. This one's fairly old. This was back several years before I retired that I got it. It's open. I've got some of the paper out, but there's a package of lined paper. Here's even more. Some of that's graph, some of it's lined. And the nice thing about this is the edges are reinforced just to make those a little more durable if you're taking them out and putting them back in. So this all goes together. And I've got a couple of pads of the list sheets that will all go together. I've got two more things that are notebook related. This is a boogie board, blackboard. This is the A5 size or the junior size maybe. It's got a removable cover. It's got the back here is reversible. Let me see. Yeah, you can reverse that, and that's lined on the other side. The cover is a little bit fiddly, so whenever I put it on, I just left it on. And I've got videos about this that you can watch how to work the erasable function, but I find this really fun to write on, and it just erases. There's also a free app that goes with this that you can use. Basically, it's a scanner where you can scan the screen as you write on it. It's a little bit cumbersome, but there is a file system in it where you can organize your pages. But the pencil is magnetic, so it sticks on there magnetic, or if you need it to be on there more securely, you can clip it on. Let's see. Yeah, there's a magnet on here where you can take the cover off, a magnet on top and bottom. You can stick it to your refrigerator. It's a cool little deal. It also comes with a stand where if you want to stand it up on your counter, it's kind of cool for family notes and things like that, or practicing math problems on if you have a student in the family. That's what we used them for. So I will have this at my table. If you don't see it out, ask. I'll try to have... Last year I ran into the problem of not having enough room on my table, so I didn't have the paper stuff out the first day. But if there's something that you see here, if for some reason I don't have room for it on the table, I will have it with me just to ask. And one last thing, I used this, I think it was the last couple years, I taught. It's a stapleless stapler. The kids thought this was really cool. I'll have this at my table. All right, I'll have all this stuff at my table on Friday and Saturday at the 2025 St. Louis Pen Show. Stop by if you're interested in some of this, or if you're not interested, if you just want to stop by and show me what you've gotten at the pen show, or talk about what you're looking for, or just nerd out with a fellow fountain pen enthusiast. We will be there Friday and Saturday. We won't be there Sunday. And you might see us wandering around on Thursday afternoon. If you want to see more pen and ink and paper stuff like this, please subscribe to my channel. And if you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up.